If you're a producer that struggles with beat block, or if you just want to up your melody making game, I've got a simple 5-step formula that works every time, no matter your skill level. Trust me, I know what it's like to overthink and get frustrated when I'm making melodies. But then I started breaking down the hundreds of loops I've made in the past and realized there's a formula behind most of them. Once you see the patterns, it all becomes way easier. So in this video, I'm gonna break everything down for you, and by the end of it, I guarantee you'll be making melodies with no problem. But before we get into it, I've been grinding over the past few months on a huge trap bundle and production course called the Sacred Trap Suite. I've never done any trap product on this scale before, but I ran polls and most of you were asking for trap sounds. So I went ahead and prepared almost 1,000 unique trap drums, loops, midis, one-shots, accents, phrases, VST presets, and a whole trap production course. Everything was designed for hard trap, melodic trap, and even pushing into super trap because I'm really pushing the boundaries with this one. So if you want hundreds of fresh sounds and everything you need to know about trap production, I've just opened the waitlist and you can join it using the link in the description. If you're on the waitlist, you'll get a huge discount plus a bunch of other bonus kits when it drops on the 26th of September. But the waitlist won't be open for that long, so make sure you join it now and let's get straight into the video. Okay, so for this melody, we can think of building a melody like assembling a house, and the main melody is the foundation. Without a solid base, nothing else stands up. It's the framework that everything else gets built around. So this could be just a simple catchy melody or a chord progression. So I'll show you. So I'm just going to Analog Lab and I'm going to start with a plucked key. Something like this should work. And try not to overthink this step. Just start with any sound for now, even if it's FL keys, because we can always change the instrument further down the line. And I want to make something dark, so I'm going to work in a minor scale. And we've got B minor selected, so we can just run with that. Got the BPM set to 180 because I want to go for that fast, dark trap sound. All you need to do is select a note in the scale. Doesn't even have to be the root note, but we could just choose that. Skip a note in the scale, skip another note, and you've got yourself a chord. And then from here, we can start playing around with some of the notes to make it sound more interesting. Could even bring this note down. I'm going to click the root note of the chord and see what note sounds good after it. So this is where you're going to have to trust your ears a bit. So like that. So maybe we go to this note next. Follow that same process. Skip a note, skip another one. I'm going to change this soon though. Let's see where we can go next. Maybe up. So that bass pattern would sound right to me. And instead of adding a chord on every bar, maybe we could add it here. So let's hold shift and right click to cut. Follow this. So let's skip a note in the scale, skip another one. How does this sound? Not bad, but it might sound a bit too happy. We could just use these notes and then come up with some sort of melody. And then we could use some filler notes. Maybe that note is the one that's making it sound too happy. And then we'll go to this note. Still using the notes in the chord. So B and G. Once we've got the notes, we could just bring some of them out and maybe change up the rhythm a bit. So now we've got a bit of a main catchy melody. And we just use notes in the chords. And then also because we're going for a dark vibe, we're going to take advantage of these half steps or semitones. So just one note in between each other. So this is the basic level. But to build on this, we're going to move on to step 2, which is the bass. So this acts like the walls in the house, giving it structure and really defines the space. So you know the melody's there, but the bass sort of holds it together and makes it feel full. And I've put this second because if you've built out a chord progression or a melody like this, then you instantly know what the bass line should be or what the main note should be anyway. If you remember, we started from B and then we just went to F sharp then G because we like the sound of it. Could even bring this down one. Let's extend this. Then we could copy this with Control and B. And then maybe add one more note at the end just to bring it back round to the root note. So step 2 was pretty easy because we already picked out the chord progression. So that's going to take us to step 3, which in this case is the top line, or in my analogy, it's the roof. So think of the roof sitting on top of the house and add in a finishing touch. So this completes the picture and grabs attention, bringing the whole thing to life with those high-end details. And for the top line, again, you could use notes that are in the chord, or you could switch it up. So even just something as simple as that. Let's add this here. Now before we move on to any other steps, I'm just going to go through some other sounds, see if I can find something that I like more. So I kind of like this preset. I think it needs some reverb though. Just bring down the mix, the decay, and then bring a low cut up. Now that we've got the foundation of the melody, it doesn't mean that we have to use the same instrument for every layer. So for example, we might just use these for the plucks. This could be a top line of strings or a synth pad or something. And then we could even swap this for a synth bass. We'll go to my Abyss analog lab bank, and we've got this Perfection sub bass, which I really like. So I'm just going to take the bass from here, Control X to cut, F7 to go to piano roll, and then Control V to paste. See what I'm saying? Now we're getting somewhere. Let's find something for that top line too. Go back to my Abyss bank. Let's try some strings. Already I feel like this is sounding better. Okay, so we've got 3 parts to the melody. The next step is going to be layering, and this is going to be like furnishing the house. So this is what makes the space feel a bit more unique. It's going to add some color and texture that makes it a bit more personal to you and more exciting. So all I'm going to do is take that main melody and then copy it into some different presets. So I'm layering it with this one just to see if we can find some interesting sounds and textures. So you know what? Let's not even use the VST for this one. Let's just try and find a one shot. But I think with some processing, this could work. And then for another layer, I'm thinking we could add a normal pad as well. Let's use my ascending pad. We could even copy it and double it up. So now we've got a few nice layers. The 5th step to the melody is going to be processing. And this is going to be like interior design. So this is going to be things like creative effects, maybe things like halftime, delays, phases, chorus, plugins like Portal, or even rendering your melody, flipping it, reversing it, and just seeing how far you can take it. This is going to be the thing that really defines the sound and shapes how it feels and flows. With these plucks, maybe we could add halftime, bring it above the reverb, and then just bring the mix down a bit. That gives us a bottom layer as well. Could add halftime to that pad as well. The first one. We could even just leave the full halftime on. I think those plucks just need a bit of delay as well. With the pad, I'm just going to take out a bit more of that low end. On that pad, just to give it some movement as well, I'm going to add kickstart. Maybe just on half. Yeah, there we go. And then just to refresh our ears, we're going to change the key of this. So I've highlighted everything. We'll click here, transpose selected, and let's just try it up by 3. See what I'm saying? Once you've heard the same melody in the same key for a while, your ears get a bit burnt out. But this is just more refreshing. But what I'm also going to do is take these plucks and then render them. Now we're going to bring this to the playlist, bring out that rendered melody. We'll take this, set it to stretch, and then pitch it up an octave. We'll turn the volume down, send it to another insert, and then we're just going to add something creative like Portal. Even that first one just sounds way more unique. Really like this preset too. Like it says, it just adds a little bit of texture. So now we've got another high melody without having to think of anything new. But just to separate that a bit, I'm going to add Pancake, just bring the mix down, and this will send it between both ears. Alright, this melody feels like it's ready for drums, but in my head I'm hearing some vocals, so let's find some vocals to add to it. Of course, you already know in the new trap kit there's vocal phrases. Let's try this one. Hard. And then just as a final touch, maybe we could add some sort of accent. Copy this. And as you can hear, we've definitely got a full sounding melody. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding in the drums and see if it works. All right, let's go to the drum kit in the bundle. And as you can see, I designed a ton of these sounds for this kit, but by the time I drop it, probably narrow it down to like the top 20 or something. Just copy that. We'll grab a hat. Like this one works. Yeah, I think this hat sounds a bit better. grab a second snare. Then let's grab an open hat, because I've got some really unique ones in here. Just different to your normal sounds, but we're going to control the length as well. Try this one too. And this one stands out a bit more. You know what? I think that bass needs to come down an octave. Right, let's go to the perks. I actually really like this laser perk. Could even add that at the start. Just to kind of emphasize the kick. We can just get something like this too. Now, when I said I was pushing boundaries with this kit, I had this glitch folder where I've just come up with all these unique sounds. So that's why I said it could be good for super trap. Yeah, then we can move this glitch here. Only other thing I want to do is just extend this bass pattern. Let's bring this up an octave. Okay, so to me that's more than enough drums. They're not going to play all at the same time constantly. So I've already kind of laid the melody. I've just got everything in this section, which would be a hook, and then I just took some things out for the beginning of the verse, reintroduced the vocals, the second plot, and then it's just dying off again at the end. So let's split the drums. We also need an intro, so let's bring this over. For the intro, let's start with that main melody. We'll have the bass, but we'll make that unique and just bring this one down. And then I think we could bring this block in. There we go. And maybe the hat as well. Let's make this main melody down an octave too. And then maybe even with the vocals too. Well, we'll also bring this in. So we'll get rid of it there. Crazy. Okay, we'll get rid of a few more things in here, like the perks. Just cutting the hats here. Introduce some new drums here. And then in this last section, we'll take all of the percussion out. We've already got some of the melody out. We'll bring this bass back in, and then we'll just add the same pattern in like we've got in the intro. And then we can just take this and then copy this whole thing over. Okay, let's have a listen from the beginning. So we're just starting with that main melody down an octave. And then we've got that higher texture one. Sounding crazy. I can hear a lot of UK rappers on this, like Nines, Fredo, that type of vibe. So for the verse, I've just taken quite a few things out, then reintroduced the vocals and the second plots. Are perfect for this beat. And then just coming into the bridge. So yeah, I hope this one helps you step up your melody game. And if you like the sound of all the sounds I was using in this, make sure you join the waitlist for the Sacred Trap Suite. Links in the description.